Thank you very much, Pyrotechnics, joining us here. Our analysts we've had with us all day, as well as the Fisho and Trevor to wrap up the day, not only the day, but the quarterfinals as well. Let's start by, well, looking back at the very last game of the series, because to me, Gambit didn't pick some bans what I thought the Unicorns of Love would do after game one. They banned out Kog'Maw, Morgana, and Udyr, everything that they couldn't deal with, and it wasn't the right way to go.
Actually, this final game kind of showed what Unicorns of Love's plan was all along. Was to prioritize the Morgana. If it gets banned, just pick the Maokai, because it seems like Morgana is a great pick against Maokai, and Maokai is no longer the OP3 that we've been talking about all week.
Yeah, I really like that we had our thoughts like, oh my god, they're doing this. Like, why aren't they doing this? And it really showed that they did have a lot of thought behind their pick and ban. So when we're sitting here, like, you know, as analysts going, they should be picking that Maokai or banning it, it's like, no. They had it planned all along. They wanted to do this. They did lose that game one, but I don't think it was purely because of picks and bans.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was the weird thing also, because in game one, that was the only game where Gambit didn't make any clear mistakes. They got a good lead early on, and they kept just basically snowballing the game. In game two, they had the same setup. They got 2 early towers down, and then they go for this tower dive 5 versus 5 at 12 minutes. Game 3, same setup again. They were ahead. They had the early lead. Gambit made some very important mistakes, or very, very big mistakes in these matches here, but Unicorns of Love just showed why you never want to face them in a best out of 5 when they pull out stuff like this and you don't know how to prepare against it, because you cannot expect every single pick in the game.
Yeah, exactly. And Leviathan in one of the clips was also like, no, you know, it doesn't matter what they will pull out because we can handle it. But the vastness of this champion pool, I don't think we've seen the edges of it yet. One thing I do want to talk about is the Shaco, of course, Shaco. We did hear Kikis talking about it, and he just goes, yeah, we don't practice it that much in scrims, but we do. I don't even know if I believe that. It just seems so incredibly risky.
The thing is, I agree with you, yes. I don't know how much they practice it, but what Unicorns do as a team, because they've got all of these guys that play such a plethora of champions, I feel like their out-of-game understanding of how to play around those champions is better than any team in the LCS, because they clearly decide, these are the unique picks we're going to run, this is how we play around this unique pick, and then they implement that in-game. You can either learn that through logging hours and hours and hours in scrims, or you have a team that can understand it and discuss it. So that when you go, I'm going to pull out Shaco in the game-deciding game, even if you've only played it 5 scrims before, the theory is sound, right? The theory is split push, don't die 4v4, and if you do, make it last long enough that Kickers can get towers.
One more thing about that, though, it seems that adaptability for them is something that we only see coming out in series when they qualified in here, because in their single games, the only thing we've ever said is they don't really know how to play their comp a lot of times.
It seems like it normally, and that's why they've been so inconsistent, because they would have these compositions where, let's say they had a mid-game spike, and they would get it, and then they would go back and farm the lanes, and they sit on a Corki with the Trinity Force 15 minutes in the bottom lane and do absolutely nothing. And that's weird, because then you see Unicorns now clearly know how to play these comps they had, and as you said before the game even started, Unicorns of Love are really good at punishing mistakes. It's all they did for the first 3 games, or 2 games, I guess we can say, the game 2 and game 3. And that's why they won the games, simply because they punished Gambit every single time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and they did pull it out. And they had a lot of big plays today on the Rift. It was very hard to choose the most valuable player, and we actually had to discuss about it a fair bit, but we decided to give the MVP award for this series to Hylissang, because, as you said, he is able to pull out wins where they shouldn't be winning the lane, and his Morgana defined the pick and ban strategy for 3 games out of 4.
Yeah, for sure.
Or maybe 4.
Like, they basically predicted the Maokai first pick, which is, like, of course, it's going to come up there. And Morgana does super well in team fights against it. And also the fact that he is willing to pick Morgana blindly into the bot lane. And he just did so well in the lane phase against these Kalista picks and Urgot picks.
No, was fantastic. Although, you know, you kind of want to give it to Kikis. He did fantastic as well, pulling out 2 new picks once again. But I think you guys can all agree that Hylissang was very good in this one as well.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say he was pretty insane, and he showed in the last game he doesn't even care about Morgana. He can just do exactly the same on another champion. Pinoy didn't have a fun day.
Definitely not. Same as yesterday's quarterfinal between, you know, looking at Ryu as maybe the secondary option, Kickers, just showing how good he can be. It is so many threats. When you look at how many jungle bans this series had, I fear for Svenskeren and what SK are going to do to contain this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. We can actually talk about that a little more in just a second. We do want to tune in with you guys, though, because you were all over Twitter with all the big plays that were happening in the crazy games. We decided to take this tweet from @DestroyerLol. He wrote, "That Chachi ultimate. Mom, get the camera." This is your big play.
you have to think the execution is in favor. That's a flash forward. Betsy has found Kickers. There's no smite. There's a chance she's knowing. He gets a double kill with the unstoppable. Is it through the wall as well? It is too.
It is. He smacks the wall and then the AoE.
Oh! I've never heard you make that noise before. Never. I've casted with you for a year
It's
and
a
3 months
special one.
now.
I save it
I've
for stuff
never
like
heard
this.
that noise.
Like, that was the best ulti I've ever seen from a Sion. And you also stop a Baron, and that's just insane.
It was the best ulti, but he hit a wall. That's where he ended up, and that Sion ulti got a double kill. It's a really funny best Sion ult is hitting a wall.
Yeah.
All planned.
All planned. The others' lives hit a wall as well. It was all planned out. Now, with the quarterfinals wrapped up here in Europe, we're going to check out the playoff bracket as we have played our quarterfinals. Unicorns of Love, they are locked in for the semifinals, as well as H2K. That means Unicorns of Love have also earned at least 30 championship points, and Gambit have earned 10 with a 5th place finish. And it means that our semifinal matches, as you can see there, the Unicorns of Love will be going up against SK Gaming, and Fnatic will face off against H2K. And all those teams will be going to Madrid, because also the 3rd place match will be going on there as well. This is the EU Challenger Playoffs bracket. Well, you will also see the finals there Wednesday in the studio as Origin takes on the Lowland Lions.
a lot of games.
A lot of games, but we got to touch on the semifinal matchups, Unicorns of Love versus SK Gaming. So, before this series, the Unicorns of Love had a win rate of 67% against teams above them. If we count all the games as individuals, now they have a 70% win rate versus teams that are above them. All the teams they are going to face are above them, so they have 70% chance of winning the playoffs.
That's it. We don't even have to play them now.
Yeah.
You've got the math.
There we go.
How do you argue with
Super
that?
sound.
All right,
Genius.
so if we look past the whole 70%
Yeah.
teams above you, best out of 5, Unicorns of Love, on paper, SK is better in nearly every single role, in my opinion at least. The thing is just you don't know what you're going to be playing against, and that's the trick. SK Gaming has shown before that they don't always know how to adapt really quickly. They had problems at IEM where there was some new stuff happening. That can be the way for Unicorns to win that matchup, but I think if it's standard versus standard, SK is going to take it.
Jacob.
I will actually say if I can just imagine SK having the same picks as Gambit had today, and I just can imagine them doing a lot better, because Gambit were doing a lot of rotational mistakes, map mistakes, overextending a lot, taking fights where they shouldn't. And SK Gaming, they don't do those mistakes. Like, if you just take a comp that is not one-dimensional, you won't get cheese in any way. I'm pretty sure SK Gaming are going to take this home.
Yeah, I mean, I think what UOL did really well is they kind of preyed on Gambit's confidence. And you saw how Gambit changed their pick and ban, and UOL didn't like stutter at all. They did the same bans, and they were very happy with it. So I think against SK, they're going to be pushing the hell out of those lanes, and I don't think they're going to show any lack of confidence, and I don't think that's where UOL is going to be able to take advantage of.
The only thing I have to add is that this semi-final between SK and UOL is actually quite a big stylistic difference. SK's Mr. Consistent as far as team goes. They're not the most dynamic. They're relatively similar in their play style, but they don't make many mistakes. Unicorns, on the other hand, they're way more diverse. They can surprise way more, but that also brings with it a wealth of inconsistency, as we've seen from the best of ones. So it's going to be interesting to see which style is stronger.
Yeah, the semifinals will come up here next weekend. And remember, you saw the bracket there flash, but the Challenger finals will be going on right here in the studio on Wednesday as well. We'll all be there and be helped by Sheepy as well. So go get your tickets and come watch. That does it for us, though, here in Europe. A special thanks to all of our guests for joining us this weekend. And now it's time for the teams in North America to take it to the Rift. Let's check in across the pond in Los Angeles, California, where the fans, they're lined up and they are pumped up for the second quarter final of the day. Yeah, they're always hyped up there. Maybe, hopefully for them, it's not a quick 3-0 as it was yesterday, as the Fischer is looking absolutely dapper. And before we kick it over to NA Dapper for Impulse versus Gravity, let's look back at today's European LCS.